Hi, welcome to Uniquely Robin. This is Robin. I just wanted to start off by letting you know I did finish the project that we started working on the other day. And I just put a tie closure on it. I did glue it on the back some. And I also stitched it with my tablet that I put in. I just ran a regular stitch right down through the middle. And my sewing machine did it very well, so if that's what you want to do with yours, it will work perfectly. I made a couple tag here for the front pocket with another little pocket and a little tag on it. And I did use our junk mail in the middle of my tags to stiffen them up a little bit. So we have writing on those. You can write on the back or the front of those. And those are the tags in our little pockets we put on. There, and then we still have our pocket back here for whatever we want to put in there. I put the lace on the front as well. So that's that done. I think they turned out pretty cute. I hope you guys made one. And if you did, post it below in the comments because I'd love to see it. I really would. They're fun, simple, easy. Great for happy mail, or you can tuck them into a journal. If you have a wide spine on your journal, you could tuck them in. But yeah, that's that. I did get a couple of paper packs. I wanted to show you. I got these from Amazon. This one's called Paper Designer. I don't think it has. I got them yesterday. I was looking through them last night, just kind of reading what they were saying on them. It says, our memories. He will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Which was a really nice saying on there. And then I was flipping through just to see what the other pages look like. It's a really cute paper pack. And I came across this one, which I thought was kind of weird. And I'm not going to read this, but I will hold it up there, hopefully, so you can read it. I just thought it was kind of funny, but it does have bad word on it, so I don't know that I would use that in a journal, unless I was giving it to someone I knew. But, yeah, that's this. Other than that, I mean, it's a really pretty paper pack. This one is 8x8. I hope I'm not making you dizzy flipping through these like this. But yeah, this cute little paper pack. So we'll be using that and some stuff here coming up. And then I also got this one, and the number on this one, if you're interested, is LPNN 87889 8018. And it just says, perfect for card making and scrapbooking. Retro series paper pack. But I thought it was really pretty too. I love the writing on this page. Different. It's different. There's some more writing on that page. This is my favorite page. I love that. Just so you can get an idea. This one I also got on Etsy. They weren't that expensive, so I thought, well, I'd try them out. And this one, you can punch these out. This is like a punch paper, so you can punch all these letters out, which is kind of cool. I didn't even notice that last night. But anyway, those are those. Today we're going to do our file folder project. I have two file folders. You really only have to have one. I'm pretty sure there's enough scrap from the one that you don't need to have two, but I grabbed two just in case. It's been a few days since it's been a week or so since I made this, so I am gonna have to try to remember. But that's what it is. It's just an old file folder, a hanging file folder. It has the metal pieces in it, which we'll take out. And I sewed around it, but you don't have to sew around it if you're not a sewer. You can just leave that plain. I just kind of thought it looked kind of neat. And you can put any kind of pockets that you want in it. This one I put a long pocket this way, so something could slide in there. And I just left these in there so you could see that it is a pocket. And then a pocket down here. Now these pockets I used vanilla file folders, and I took my vintage ink and dyed it. Just, you know, rubbed it all over it, and it made it look almost like leather on there, which I kind of liked. And then this is our composition notebook, an altered composition notebook that I put in here, and it is a no-sew, and it is also removable. And I put 2 strings so you could put 2 in here if you wanted to. But that way you can slide it in, and when it's full, you can slide it out and put your another one in there, and you can still use the rest of your folder. It has the same kind of pockets on the back. I think the one I make today, we're going to do different kind of pockets, just so you can see a variety of different ways and things you can do. Just put some stickers on it just to make it look like you know, like an old shipping label file folder or something. These, when you take them apart, they have these little punch slits in them. And the one side we're going to cut off, but the other side I left on mine. You don't have to. You can cut that off if you want. Your lip will just be a little bit narrower than what mine is. Or you can fold it different. But I left mine on because I wanted to weave this ribbon through it, because red's my color, so I had to have a little red on there. But yeah, I weaved the ribbon through it, and then I put an extra piece on the back to cover it, and just to give it a little more sturdiness on that flap. But yeah, that's what we're going to be making. So we're going to start by taking the metal out. And some of them will just slide out. The other one just kind of slid out. I guess it was an older one, or I had way too much stuff in it. But if you take your bone folder and just get it in the end there, then you slide it right along, and it'll open that seam right up. And then you just take your metal piece right out. Stick that over there, because you never know, we might need that for something. Don't know what, but you never know. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing to this side, in case you want to weave the ribbon through. And you can weave it through on both sides if you want to. Pull that out. Okay, now we're going to get our cutter, because this side, I'm going to chop this side off. That way, when we fold it up, we have some room to fold our flap over. So I'm just going to cut this off. And if you don't want to put the ribbon through both sides, you can cut this off before you take that thing out. It doesn't matter. And I'm just going to take it off right past where we took that out. See, I just a little tiny bit past where that would have been. And then just make sure you have enough room for a flap, which we do. And I'm going to get my handy dandy little folding tool here. I don't know why I can't think straight today. I can't think of what things are. I'm going to close this up because I want my fold to be maybe just 1/4 of an inch or a little more past where our other page is. So make sure you cover that over, and I'm going to go what I call 2 ticks over. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. As we may end up putting more scoreboard. That's what this is called. I know you all were telling me, weren't you? Channeled it right to me. And this is a little thick, so sometimes you got to put a little pressure on it, but not a whole lot. They're not that thick, but. And then we're going to burnish that down. So, and that's quite far enough, so that's good. So that's where our flap is going to go over. But now I'm going to go back to my scoreboard. Actually, I'm going to take my scrap first because I want to score that too. So take your flap that you cut off if you're leaving these on. You don't have to do this if you're not leaving these on. I just thought it was kind of cool. You could run anything through there. Lace or... I'm going to cut this, the piece that doesn't have the slits in it. And I'm going to cut that off. Put that over there. This piece I'm going to use. And I'm going to use this to reinforce this and to cover up my lacing on the inside. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Or you can use a bigger piece if you want to cut up another file folder and have another piece of one here. If you want to take a bigger piece to cover up this whole thing, like where it was glued down on this side, if that bothers you, you can cut a piece off to put there to reinforce that. If that bothers you, doesn't really bother me that much. Because on the inside fold, you're not going to see a whole lot of it. And you can clean that up a little bit if you wanted to. But the main thing I'm worried about is this piece here. I say it doesn't bother me, but now that I'm looking at it, maybe it does. But you could always put, I think I would just put a piece of ribbon or lace down through there to cover that. That way I don't have to cut into, I mean, I do have an extra piece. I wouldn't have to cut into another one, but if you did it, you would have to cut into another file folder in order to have a big enough piece to cover that, which if you have lots of them, that's fine. Just trying to do some stuff that's cool, but on the cheap, things that we already have. So I'm going to glue this on. First thing, I am going to round my corners. You don't have to round your corners. You can leave them square if you'd rather they be square. I like the rounded corners. And I'm going to make sure this is the right length first before I round that. And it's going to need trimmed a little bit, so I'll just glue it and then I'll trim it afterwards because it's not that off. If I try to trim it now, I'm probably going to get it too short or something. Get my, what color do we want to put in this one? I think I'm going to use the red just because I like red. But you can use any color that you want. Or find the end of it. Would be nice. There we go. Everything wants to fight me today. I don't know why. And I just, let me get my scissors here and trim this end off. Okay, those are my paper scissors. That's, these kind of are too, but I cut a little better. Oops, bumped you. I'm always knocking you over. I'm not really an abusive person. And just weave that in and out. I should have done this before I started, but I wanted to show you from the beginning how to do this. Hoping it doesn't bore you to death and take very long. Of course, I'm hoping that you're doing this along with me. That's one of the reasons I try to let you know ahead of time what kind of stuff we're going to be working with, so that you could craft along with me. Nice piece of lace would look pretty in here too. Come on. Get in there, little guy. It's got a little piece where they cut it off that didn't quite come off. There we go. I think I got it. Oh, come on, you. Get in there. Making me look bad in front of everybody. There we go. All right, one more. Aha, there we go. All right, now I'm going to cut this off. I left just a little bit left on there because I'm going to glue that up here. And then this one, I really don't need that much. We might need that piece of ribbon for something else. And we're going to glue it down up there. Okay? And I think we're going to glue that right along with our piece file folder. The same color, it was hard to see. Oh, my glue is going to give me a hassle today, isn't it? Come on, little baby. Something's stuck in there. Ah, I got a piece of whatever it was out there. Maybe that's all it was. Just a piece of... There's my rag over there. Oh, come on now. Gotta get my lids for my sugar bell bottles, because these are really hard on the hands, especially when it wants to be stubborn. Put plenty of glue, especially on the edges. Not so much it's going to squirt all out, but... Alright. I'm going to try to glue this down. And glue my... I want to make sure it's up far enough. Ribbon down with it. So I'm going to turn this... Get it to the edge. Make sure it's right on my edge. Got glue all over my finger. I always have glue all over me. Glue and ink and... I'm going to add just a little bit of glue down along this line where I didn't evidently get it close enough. Go. Ooh, got way too much on that corner, didn't I? Where is my little rag? I just had it. There it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to flip it over. Make sure anything that's squeezed out of these little holes, that will dry clear, so not that big a deal, but I want it to stick to everything. Now I'm going to round my corners again. There we go. So, now when we fold it, it'll fold over. But you notice it's folding flat. Now we want to get our scoreboard out again. I remembered the name of it that time. What do you think? And remember we scored that one line there, and I'm going to go two more little notches over from that, and I'm going to score again. Two more notches from that to the right. And then I'm going to go over, there's my line, one more, two more notches, which is probably going to be really close to your edge of your paper. Now we're not going to fold on those lines, but I'm going to show you what we are going to do. Get my handy dandy little piece of wood out. I have just a little dowel rod, and I'm going to lay that in there, open that side up, and I'm just going to roll. I'm going to roll those score lines. Just a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot. And you see how that rounds that a little bit? And that's what's going to give us room for our bulk inside. Now you say this side's flat, that side's not. Now if you look on the other side, if you have these same kind of hanging file folders, they will already have score lines. I don't know if you can see it on the video on this side. So we're just gonna put our, you can use anything to do this with. You can use probably, a rolling pin might be a little too big, but just a little dowel rod, end of a paintbrush, if it's rounded, just anything rounded to roll this, because we don't want harsh score lines, we just want to loosen up those score lines that are already on there. There we go. And see, we have room. Gives us room. All right, so we're done with this. Get that out of our way. Now the next thing we're going to do is our pockets. So we need to decide what kind of pockets we want. You can use about anything for pockets. Vanilla folders, your a thick junk mail, you can make a pocket out of this and you just cover it in some pretty paper. It makes a nice sturdy pocket. I was thinking earlier, these are about the same color. You could use envelopes and just run some up through there like that. So you got some little envelopes to put some stuff in if you wanted to do that. Just trying to give you different ideas of different things that you can make pockets out of on your file folder. You can put a slanted pocket, just a side pocket, however you want to do. It's yours. Do it the way you like it. You can give these for Happy Mail. You can use these. I think I need to put just a little bit of glue right there. It was wanting to come open on me on that little seam right there. I saw daylight. Okay. All right, so I have this scrap piece, so I think I might just make me a couple of pockets out of that. First, I'm going to cut it. Whoops. That did not. Oh, yeah, I guess it did. I didn't think it cut all the way through there for a minute. It's a little bit different color on the other side. I think I'm going to use the contrasting color side. Now we're going to put grommets in our seams here, so we don't want to get too awfully close to that. Think about right there. Or grommets, eyelets, I'm not sure what they're called. Those little thingies that cover the holes. Okay, I marked mine where I wanted it to be. I'm going to cut 2 of these. One's going to be a little skinnier than the other. You see me reaching for them scissors like I was going to make a crooked pocket? Because if I cut it by hand, it would be crooked. Okay. All right. So this is a smaller pocket. If I put one here and one here, that will give me 2 pockets on this side. So I could put something taller up here and then a little more stuff down there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. Like I've said, I don't know how many times, I don't have a circle punch. So I have a balloon punch. And in case you're wondering what a balloon punch is, because somebody did ask me that. I'm trying to find a little piece of scrap is what I'm trying to do here. Which I can't believe I don't have one just like laying right here. This will work. Maybe it will work. It's long enough. There we go. Okay. And it punches out like a balloon. And come here, little guy. In a basket. So it's like a hot air balloon. So it's kind of a cool punch. And the balloon comes in handy for birthday cards and stuff like that. But it also comes in handy for making our little, I'm not sure what these are called, little show you where your pockets are things. So we just use a part of the circle. And it gives us our little dippy things. Okay. Is that, yeah, I think that's, I might have to trim these just a tiny bit. Just because I want to make sure it's not in the way of our notebook. And trying to keep them as even as I can, I'm going to trim just a tiny bit off of each side. And that is not straight. Okay. Okay. So that one should fit right there. And I'm going to make just the tiniest little mark on both sides of that so I know where to... Okay. I was going to say, so I know where to place it down and then I couldn't see my mark. I think I have finally decided I'm going to take back the spare room and put my craft room back up there. I had so much room when I was up there and I knew where everything was at. Down here I have a small bit of room and I spend most of my time trying to clean stuff up because it's in our living room. So I try to keep things clean. You know, if somebody stops by, I don't have a mess everywhere. When you're in a very, very tiny space, it's hard not to. Not that I want to make a big mess up there, but if I have a few things laying out on my desk or something like that, it's not that big of a deal when you're upstairs in a room to yourself. I am going to cut just the corner off of this. It's wanting to fold there anyway, so I'm going to let it. That way it'll make our pocket a little expandable. Nothing will fall out. Get it as even as I can with that other one. And burnish that down. Okay. Now I will say, if you are planning on using this file folder like to take with you places, because some people like to take them, throw them in a bag, take them with them when they go on a nature hike or something like that. If you are planning on doing that, I would probably recommend that you double these up. You know, glue one on top of the other just to make it a little thick, because they are pretty sturdy to begin with, but when you double it up, it makes it really sturdy. But then we have a pocket there and we have a pocket there. So we could put other pockets on here if we wanted to, but I think that's all I want on that side. And then we go to this side, and I'm going to find me some scraps. I got this. I think I'm going to make the pockets on this side. This kind of coordinates pretty nice, doesn't it? I think I'm going to make my other pockets on this side out of this. I think I'm going to make a big one. I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm going to make a big one on this side. So I'm going to mark where I want it to be. So I want to hold it up against here, but not clear. I don't want to mess with my, make sure I can still move my flap. And I'm going to mark it about right there. I don't measure, it's just, for some reason, turns out better for me if I don't. Okay. So we'll have a big pocket on this side. Yeah, I think that'll look nice. I like that. All right, so we're going to make our little notchy thing, and I'm just kind of eyeballing to try to get it in the middle. And I'm going to ink this up. I didn't ink those. I could have, probably should have, but I didn't. But this one's a little lighter colored, so it'll stand out from the page a little better if I ink it up. There's nothing left of that poor little thing. Get a new one. Get a new one. I think also my ink pad is drying up, so I'm gonna put a little more on there. Now, when you first put ink on your pad out of a refilling thing, it's going to be really dark. So, well, so be careful. A little sponge fell right off of there. It said, no, I don't want to go in that ink. Which I don't mind it being dark, but until you let it soak in, it's really wet too, so just gotta be a little careful. Really, this thing does not want to stay on there. I just bought these. I don't know why it doesn't want to stay. Now I really have ink everywhere. Oh, goodness. Well, we're just going to use this old guy until we get this paper down. Maybe it's the... I don't know. Sorry, I dropped that one on the floor. Maybe it's the stamper and not the pad. I think it was. I'll have to check that out. Maybe the Velcro's not very good on it. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Sometimes with that punch, if you get down too far, it's really hard to get in there. Okay. That's good enough. You guys don't want to sit here and watch me ink forever. Good thing this is the dark color because I got ink everywhere. I actually had a red one of these file folders that I was going to do today. It would make it a little easier for you guys to see what was going on. But, of course, when I go to get it, it's been laying here on this desk in my way. I keep moving it all week. And when I go to use it, I can't find it. I'm going to put this almost to the bottom, but I still want to see a little bit of that. Okay. And again, if you push in just a tiny bit on the corners, it'll give you a little extra room in your pocket when it dries. The top, but you don't want to push enough that it's not going to glue down. But just a tiny bit, just to give you a little room up there. Now, do I want another pocket on top of that? I think what I'm going to do is make just like a little tiny pocket. Actually, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That'll be nice. Sorry, I am going to ink this just a tiny bit around the edges. Try not to take forever. Need to put my little, yeah. I was trying to see if I had it right side up, but this paper, I don't think it really matters. But if you have pattern paper that it does matter, you want to make sure you have it right side up. I think I'm going to ink this a little heavier, just so it pops out from that. I am having a time with these things today. Okay. Good enough. Yeah, that way it'll make it pop off that paper. My hands are filthy. Oh, well, you're crafters too, so I'm sure you've seen it. I gotta have a drink here. I was actually taking a chance putting my coffee on the desk because I'm not the most coordinated of people. And I was worried that I would knock it over, knock on wood, because hopefully I still won't. Okay, I'm going to eyeball this and try to get it as centered as I can. But it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to push a little up there. Okay, I think... Trying to think of who I got that from. If you push the corners, I think it was Edith with Scrapbooking with Me. I think is where I got that from, where you push on the corners just a tiny bit and it gives you just a little more space in there. And I love that because it works great. Thank you, Edith. Okay, so we got that done. Now let's poke our holes. Or do we want to do this first? I should have, yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking about putting another one of these pockets on this side, but I don't want to do it until after we put our closure thing on the front, so I think we'll do that next. Now I have these brads, these are the only brads I have, and they're like 40 miles long. So they're way too long for what we need. So be very careful if you do this, because I have sliced my finger doing this before. I'm going to open it. That helps. I'm going to cut this down because it's not a very thick piece of paper. We don't need it. I wish I had some of those really small brads, but I don't. So we're going to use what we got. There we go. Piece cake. Okay. Now I have gone ahead and cut out 4 circles of cardstock, and I have 2 circles of chipboard. And it's a really thin chipboard. It's just a little bit. And we're going to glue these together. The 4 pieces of cardstock, we're going to make 2 out of them. So we're going to put that on top of there. I do know circles, freehanding cutting circles is not an easy task. So getting them even is not easy at all. So I am going to ink the edges of this because they are not even. Okay, there's one. Normally I would let these dry a little bit before I did this, but we don't want to be here all day. Okay. All right. Now, the chipboard ones, I am going to put them together. Well, no, I'm not, because I won't be able to close it. I'm going to put a hole in those because I can't poke that brad through them. I'm going to try to get as close to the middle as I can and try to do it. There we go. Because that's not easy on chipboard. And if you get it too thick, you're not going to use those. And I don't have one of those big crocodile things, so I got to make sure I use those. This is just going to give it a little bit of a lip so that our string will go around it. So we're going to put the chipboard on the bottom. And you can cover that if you want. My ink sided one up though. You can cover that up with another piece of cardstock if you want. But it's going to be down on the paper. Nobody's going to see that. And I'm going to try to get my brad to go through that middle, which I thought for sure that cardstock is not that thick, but evidently it doesn't like that brad. Okay, and we're going to find out where we want this to be, and we're going to kind of put it in the middle. I would think this one's the. I think I got my inside paper on that roll just a little bit. There we go. So let's see. I'd say right in here is where we want that to be. And that is a little big, so we're going to have to cut that down and make a smaller circle. Okay. All right. So I'd say right about in there. I'm going to, this should poke through there, but these brads are not real sturdy, so I'm going to start me a little hole in there. Especially on this side because I got that double thick on there. I'm going to punch a hole in it. Maybe. If I can squeeze tight enough. Most people would have no problem with this, but oh, come on. My hands do not like doing this. Ah, there we go. Come on, let go. Oh, now it doesn't want to let go. Come on. Making me look bad on camera here. This hole punch is what are you stuck on? Can't see. There we go. Stuck on the little piece is what it's stuck on. Because I hit, no wonder. It's because I hit that ribbon. But these hole punchers were my grandfather's, so they're very old to begin with, so probably not the sturdiest. Turn that way. All right, let's see if we can, get a hold of it. Now you could have put this on before you put your ribbon in if you wanted to, so this would cover it up, but we're gonna put some decoration on there anyway, so we'll cover it up. Now, let's do this side. Let's see, I'm gonna punch the hole in there. Hook that. And this one can be a little bigger, but I want it just a little bit smaller so it's not like way unproportionate to the other one. Actually, I didn't think about it until I made this, got ready for this video, that what would have been cute on here was to use buttons. Could have used buttons, regular buttons, and either sewed them on or glued them on. That would have looked cute. Got that down a little far, but I'm trying to avoid my ribbon. So if you put it on first, you won't have to make that mistake that I made. All right, so we want to probably right there. We want to go in as far as we can. Is that going to be far enough? No, it is not. We want in further than that. So I'm going to take my 3-hole punch and I'm going to fold this paper a little bit, not greatly. I'm hoping not to crease it too much. Oh, I've done this before. I know it does work. It's just, it takes some finagling. All right, well, never mind. It's too much finagling for this video. So, you know, we're just going to punch a hole where we want it. So we want it to be right around in there, and I want it to be at least over to there. And I just eyeballed that. I'm having a heck of a time today, aren't I? I apologize for all the mess-ups. I have made a few of these, but for some reason today, my brain doesn't want to work right. And they're really, really cute when you get them done. Okay. Now we're gonna open this dude up. Come on, little boy. It's always a man when he gives you trouble, right? Turn it this way. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to find a piece of tape. Or maybe not. I'm just going to take a piece of this, I think. I'm just going to cut a little square of this scrap paper. That's not long enough. Oh, I didn't judge that good, did I? Okay. I'm going to glue over top of this because we're going to put another pocket on here. so we won't see this, but I don't want somebody sticking their hand down in that pocket and catching on that and cutting themselves. And that person would probably be me. There we go. Okay. Now, I have another piece of this I wanted to put on this side. I'm going to try to make it just a smidge smaller than the one I have because I want this to fit down in that pocket a little bit. To cover that up a little more just for some extra protection, because I have slit my finger wide open with those things before and it does not feel good. Okay. I'm hoping this video is not getting like outrageously long for you guys. Ink the edges just a little bit. Well, I warned you. I told you I wouldn't take, when I make a mistake, I won't take it out. So hopefully you can learn from my mistake. Okay. Now, I want to slide this. I may need to trim that one side. I do. Probably good because I got my thing a little off-centered anyway, so this will help. Just this one side I trim off. I wonder why I have so many scraps. Okay. Alright, now it'll slide in there. There we go. And I'm going to glue that right there so we have another pocket up there. I'm just going to run some glue along this edge. The bottom is going to be tucked in, so that's not going to hurt for it to be loose, because I want this to be tight in here. Okay. I want it to be straight. Okay. Alright. I need to get me a new rag. Okay. So there we go. Alright, now we're going to put, I need to grab my little eyelets. We need 2 of those. I thought I had those out already, but I guess I didn't. Okay. And one thing I did not grab was my eyelet maker, and it's behind you, so I'm going to move you just for a second. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to put a notebook in here, and the notebook that I used is a composition notebook that you can cover and alter. You can cover it and decorate it up, and I'll show the other one. I'm not going to show that on screen today. If you want to see this in a different video, let me know below, because I don't want you guys to have to be here for like ever. So you want to make sure your eyelets are at least on the opposite sides of these. And I try to put them as close to the bottom or the very top of the page as I can without making it not sturdy. I want to keep the integrity of the, so it's not going to pull out. But I try to put it as close as I can. So if you eventually put a bigger notebook in there, you'll still have room for it. That's what I'm trying to say. Not doing a very good job of it. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, and we're going to put our eyelid in here. Or grommet, or whatever they're called. My old handy dandy cruncher. Oh, come on now. All right. Now I always, after I put those in, I'm sorry for the noise, but I'm going to bash this a couple of times, just because I don't want anybody to get cut. For some reason, I have not, get on there, little dude. Come on, be nice. I think I need a new cruncher thing. That one did not work at all. Another one over here. Somewhere. Usually I have more trouble with this one than I do that old one, but for some reason it's that old one says it's done. Doesn't want to do these tiny little things anymore. Okay. Doesn't want to work for me today, does it? All right. So once you get your grommets in, I know I don't have one up there because for some reason that does not want to go in there, so I'll fiddle with it later. I'm sure you know how to put those in. And I just run my string through both these holes, and you really have to have a grommet in there or you will eventually rip your paper. Oh my goodness, I should have went back to bed this morning. Come on, get in there. Okay. Hold on to that one. And I put it through twice. You don't have to, you can just put it through once if you'd like. I just put it through twice. That way, if I want to put 2 notebooks in there, I can. Oh, I'm having a heck of a time today. Is anybody else out there having times like this, or is it just me? Am I the only one that has trouble like this? And then you just tie it in a double knot, which I'm obviously not going to do until I get my other grommet up there, but that's what you're going to do. You're going to tie that in a double, tie it in a knot, and then tie it in a knot again. So your book will slide right through there. And then you just decorate the rest of it however you like to decorate it. However you want. And I know this doesn't really match, but for purposes here, you wrap your string around one of your little buttony things. And I tie it in a double knot. And then I go around to the top. And I tie it in a double knot again. And what that does is it lifts that up off of the paper so that Sorry, can't concentrate on two things at once evidently today. Cut that off. It ties it onto it lifts the up off of the paper enough that where you can wrap your string around it like that, however you want it to go. And then you could put a little charm on there if you'd like, or you don't have to. I'm not going to show you how to decorate it because I know you know how to do that. And it's your project, you decorate it however you want. And see, this one turned out much better. I don't know what my problem was today. But I just put some little tickets and stuff on it. And you can see I have put little label and a little stamp right where that grommet, or the that other little thing was that we hooked this on there with to cover up that so that nobody got hurt with it. And of course it's behind my pocket here, and I did cover it the same way. But yeah, you just cover your front of your notebook. Usually, and I'm not done, but I will cover the inside of this and put a pocket in here and a pocket in the back too and cover it. And then you can slide your altered book in and out. So when it's full, you can exchange it for another one. But yeah, you can use any kind of string to close it up with. You don't even have to put those on there if you don't want to. You can just wrap some cord around it and tie it in a bow, however you want to do it. I just think this is a little easier if you're going to put it in a bag to take it with you. It won't flop open and all your stuff fall out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I had a terrible time with it. I don't know why today. I just should have not done a video, I guess, today, because I'm not really with it for some reason. I think I'm coming down with a cold. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing and sharing my videos. I really do appreciate it. We are close to our 100. So, I think, my husband told me that we are at 90. So, 10 more by the end of the month. At least 10 more by the end of the month. Like to have more, but 10 more, we'll do it. We will do our drawing. And the end of the month, I will let you know what the prize is. And the 1st of December, we will do the drawing. And it's going to be a random drawing. But in order to be in the drawing, you have to have a comment below one of the videos, so that we can know who all is subscribed, because it doesn't tell us who subscribes. At least I haven't found it yet. Anyway, it just tells you how many. And then you know if somebody leaves a comment. So you need to leave a comment below one of the videos. Preferably the last one of the month, but it doesn't matter, any of the videos, because we're going to use all the names from all the videos. They have that randomizer thing, but I think it only, I have to check into it a little more. I think it only takes comments from the last video, the video that you're actually drawing from. And I want to make sure everybody who is subscribed is entered into the drawing. So I will take the names from all of the drawings, or all of the comments. So yeah, leave a comment below. Share some love to those ladies down below in the links. They're wonderful. They don't make as many mistakes as I do. They don't have as much trouble as I do. This has been a really bad week for me, with Mom being sick and all. But they did say she is getting a little better. She is a little better than she was, which is, thank God. Thank God she is. But have a great day. Be safe. Bye-bye.